Welcome to Mystery Miners Ghost Edition. I'm your host Sui. Today we are going to be talking about the story of the red spot. So my spooky friends, sit back, relax, and go grab a nice cup of tea and let's get ready to get scared. Taylor had worked tirelessly as a nurse for months, and he knew he needed a break. The long hours of being on his feet, dealing with patients' families, he needed this vacation. He decided to spend his time off in Cuba, and he was blown away by the tropical paradise. The vibrant colors of the flowers, the sound of the waves crashing against the shore, and the warm sunshine all made him feel relaxed and content. Taylor spent his days exploring the local markets, trying new foods, and soaking up the culture. He took long walks on the beach and swam in the crystal clear waters, feeling the stress of his job melt away. As the sun set each day, Taylor would sip on a mojito and listen to the sound of the light music drifting through the air. He was in paradise, and he knew he would return home feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. Taylor was packing his clothes. It was his last night in Cuba, and he was really enjoying it. He put some music in the background and swayed his hips back and forth as he folded his clothes in a chaotic manner. At the corner of his eyes, he saw something glistening against the light. Taylor dropped what he was doing to check out what was making that reflection. It was a giant spider hanging from the corner of his motel room. At first, he was startled and unsure of what to do. However, as a seasoned nurse and a grown man, he knew that spiders like these were common in tropical regions and that they were generally harmless to humans. Taylor decided to ignore the spider despite its huge size and called his boyfriend before heading to bed just to say goodnight. Taylor was jolted awake in the middle of the night, feeling something crawling on his face. Groggy and disoriented, he brushed the sensation away and went back to sleep. The next morning, as he headed to the bathroom, he caught sight of his reflection in the mirror and was shocked to see a large red spot on his cheek. Seriously? He groaned. Taylor had plans to meet his boyfriend that night, and the unsightly blemish put him in a sour mood for the rest of the morning as he got ready to check out of the motel. In the following days, the red spot on Taylor's face continued to grow bigger and bigger. He tried every acne cream he could find, but instead of getting better, the spot only swelled more. Eventually, it grew into a large red boil. One night, as Taylor was preparing for his graveyard shift and shaping his clipboard, his colleague, Annie, let out a scream when she saw the spot. "Taylor, your bite! It's so swollen, and there is something moving inside of it," she exclaimed in horror. Terrified and panicked, Taylor rushed through the hospital halls, bumping into patients and staff members as he made his way to the bathroom. Once there, he saw exactly what Annie had been talking about. The red spot on his cheek had grown even larger, and he could see something moving around inside of it. In a panic, Taylor began screaming for help, hoping that someone would come to his aid. But his look around, he realized that he was alone in the bathroom. The sound of his own voice only added to his fear and he felt a wave of nausea wash over him as he watched the spot on his face continue to pulse and throb. Taylor continued screaming for help as the wire on his face burst open and hundreds of tiny spiders came running out of his cheek. Times of the night, Taylor woke up to swamp something from his cheeks. It was a spider that he saw. She has laid eggs on his face. He felt a sudden wave of relief, but it was quickly replaced by a sense of horror as he watched the spider crawling all over his body. He tried to brush them off, but there were too many of them, and they seemed to be multiplying by the second. Just then, Annie burst into the bathroom, having heard Taylor's screams. She gaped in horror at the sight of the spiders and started sweating them away from Taylor. But it was too late. The spiders had already crawled all over his body, and there seemed to be no stopping them. Taylor started feeling a sharp pain in his head, and he fell to the ground, writhing in agony. Annie tried to help him, but the spiders had already bitten him multiple times. He was quickly losing consciousness. As Annie watched in horror, Taylor's body started convulsing and he went limp, and Taylor was gone. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Mystery Miners Ghost Edition. Make sure you catch us next week for another scary story on MRE Radio.